Dracule Mihawk versus Dracule Mihawk. Traditionally on the channel up to this point in these different tournaments, Dracule Mihawk has gotten destroyed in the matches, has not had very good luck, but in this event, 34% of the meta of these championships, 16 making it into the top 32, 8 within the top 16, 4 within the top 4, 4 within the top 8, 2 within the top 4, and mirror match in the finals. Easily Dracule Mihawk's best day in these championships in OP14. The holidays have officially hit at Nen Garden, and they're following up their Black Friday with a huge sale continuing. If you go ahead right now and buy any 2 playmats on their website, you can get your order $10 off from the listed price, which is basically a steal when we're talking about playmats, right? So not only do you get these incredible deals, but my affiliate code actually stacks on top of it to save you even more money this holiday season. Spread the holiday cheer by using code Atrocious at checkout for 10% off your order on these already great deals. The link to Nen Garden's website will be in the description below, and thank you so much for supporting one of our great friends here in the community. Happy holidays to you, and let's get back into the video. So this is the player on the right side. Chat, after their mulligan, they do have a Kiku in the hand. Nice little 2K as well as a 5-cost Garrett that we saw showcased in the top 4 round. Oh my gosh, they just flew by. That had a couple 7-cost Shanks in the hand. Player on the left side, no Shanks, but Law and Beppo, as well as a 1-cost Perona due to a little bit of movement, and a 2K as well as the Strong event. And so going in with this one, player on the right side going first, just going to pass, does not play the Kiku Nojo down on the field. Interesting, especially because you can go 5-5 in the next turn. Player on the left side going with Perona, going to be looking at that top 5 for a slash type card or an event. Does find a 7-cost Shanks, so might try to go with that because you don't have any. 5-cost blocker Bonnie, the first one we've seen in these championships, is a popular card that a lot of people include, but ends up going for the Kid Killer instead. Interesting. Going to be looking for a Supernova. Interesting passing up on the 7-cost Shanks, in my opinion. Starting out now on 3, Dawn is going to go with a Coffin Boat that he found on the top of the deck to draw 1 card. Is going to be 9-cost Mihawk. I think 9-cost Mihawk probably pretty good within this matchup, right in the mirror, because you can stun different cards like 7-cost Shanks on the opposing side. 7,000 power swing takes and restands 1 Dawn. Now he's going to start off with a 5,000 power swing on the left side. Taking that life, going down to 4, is thinking about the Trick Elysium, puts it in the hand, and now Kid Killer going in. Oh my gosh, no. Yeah, I forgot about Dracule Mihawk's leader effect. They're both 6,000 power swings, chat. I totally forgot because it almost never comes up except for the mirror, which we have not really seen on the channel, actually, fun fact. But Dracule Mihawk against slash type leaders gains 1,000 power for the entire game. So with 2 Dracule Mihawks facing each other, they both gain 1,000 power. That actually could be really relevant in this game. I totally forgot about that, chat. Thank you. And goes in with Kid Killer. Finds a couple Supernovas in the blocker Bonnie and the 2K Zoro. So is thinking about the Bonnie. Could be a nice 5-cost to play on your next turn, right? I don't think you have a play outside of that for your 6th on turn to put down, as you have 2 Law Beppos, some 2Ks, and a Shanks. And so now going in with the Carrot is just going to try to proactively put it down just in case Dracule Mihawk has anything to rest, using leader effect, restanding some Dawn. Now swinging 7 at lead and leaving 1 Dawn. Is going to take that life, put it in the hand, go down to 3. 2 Dawn active on the defensive side because of the Coffin Boat restanding 1 Dawn. I'm sorry, an 8,000 power swing, not 7,000 power swing. God, I'm not going to remember the plus 1,000 power for Dracule Mihawk. It looks like my camera froze too, actually, chat, so that's fun. Oh, now we're back. We drew a Tashigi on the turn. So that could be an option that you play down on the field instead. Tashigi, a very nice card. You got to be careful, though, when it's rested, because of that Carrot would be able to freeze it. I've seen a little bit of the NFL playoffs. Mihawk now swinging 6 is going to take the life. A Carrot in the hand. So multiple copies of Carrot in this player's deck on the right side. Probably was very leaning towards the Bonnie, right? Because we grabbed it. That's what we had in hand. But the top deck of Tashigi made this a little bit more difficult. So is going to go in with the Tashigi, play it down onto the field. 1 Dawn left as active. You can go ahead, use your leader effect, tap one of these searchers, because you don't care if those get rested by Carrot. Restand 3 Dawn. And actually, Kid Killer going in with the 6,000 power swing. Going to be giving up 1 card with the Carrot, passing off the turn. Dracule Mihawk now at 7 over on the right side. Maybe see these 7 cost Shanks that we see in the hand come down. Finds a Searcher Perona, I believe that is. And so is going to go ahead, play that Shanks using the leader effect on the Shanks instead of the Coffin Boat. To restand 3 Dawn is going to go ahead and res the Tashigi. Now the Carrot, once the Carrot swings, will be able to freeze the Tashigi. And so is going to do that, attaching 1 Dawn, now swinging 7. Is going to 2K check his opponent over on the left side. Shanks, if you do not know, resting a 7,000 base power or less, regardless if Tashigi had used her effect to become an 8,000 power leader or not, would be rested by Shanks. I'm sorry, I muted to cough. And I forgot to unmute. Crap. Perona going to be searching. Does already have 7 cost Shanks in there. Could find an event. Does find the Trichelysium. Thank you, chat. Appreciate your help. I've been trying to mute to cough so then you guys don't hear this horrendous, ugly cough. When, you know, because my voice. Ends up going with the Trichelysium event. Putting it in the hand. Now using the Tashigi event, even though Tashigi Frozen is going to be an 8,000 power leader, or an 8,000 power character, only 7 with that Shanks there. Now going in to play the Shanks. Using leader effect, resting the Shanks, restanding 3 Dawn. Now, both players going to be minusing 1,000 power on each other's boards. Holy cow, we are just throwing these minus 1,000s everywhere right now. This is a mess. And so now swinging 6,000 power. Is swinging 6,000 at Carrot. Uses a 2K to get out of that one. Not using the 1K Perona. And uses the strong event. This event we've seen all day today in this championship. I know you're strong, so I'll go all out from the very start. Freezing 2/7 costs or less on the field. Perfect for Shanks and Carrot in the mirror match. Now Shanks not going to be able to rest a body. Carrot not going to be able to freeze a body. And Tashigi, because we use the Tashigi effect to plus 2,000 power through the opponent's turn, Tashigi now is potentially going to be able to restand. 9-cost Mihawk is in the player on the right side's hand. Could be a great card to play down on this turn and utilize for your leader effect to stun one of these characters. And 9-cost Mihawk is what's going to be played. Using leader effect is going to stun a 9-cost or less. Cannot attack. Or cannot be rested, I think, is actually the specific wording on the Mihawk. There is a difference. One of your opponent's characters, which was the Shanks, with the cost of 9 or less, cannot be rested until the end of your opponent's next end phase. That means that Shanks cannot attack, Shanks cannot be rested through the Dracule Mihawk's leader effect, and is not going to be minus 1,000 in a future turn on the player on the right side's board. Probably a very good card in the mirror match. And so I think is taking this swing of 8,000 power going down to 1. Coffin Boat going to be drawing a card, passing off the turn. Coffin Boat restanding 1 Dawn. So Shanks, even though will restand, will not be able to be rested. We'll stay for a little bit after the finals chat and just chat and hang out. But typically, yeah, they don't do any reveals after the finals. And so is going to go in with the Tashigi effect for plus 2,000 power, but the minus 1,000 power from Shanks, making it a 7,000 power character. So much math to be done in this game. Does have 2 options. Could play the 10-cost Law and Beppo. Law and Beppo would be able to stun one of these bodies on the player on the right side's field. Something like maybe the 9-cost Mihawk to prevent its effect from going off again. And so Law and Beppo coming in is going to stun that Dracule Mihawk like I mentioned. And plus 2,000 power, the player on the right side. Plus 3,000 power in total. So now a 8,000 power leader. Yo, what up, Ralph Terra? Yeah, Bonnie Searcher, really interesting. And so now using leader effect to restand 3 Dawn after tapping the Kid Killer. Doesn't want to tap the Lawn Beppo. Does not have another one of those I know you're strong, so I'll go out from the very start events to be able to once again freeze this carrot. So do you try to swing into it now at this point? You can swing with the Tashigi. You can swing with the leader. Not with the Shanks, though. The Shanks being stunned from the secret rare Mihawk. Yeah, you can replace the 5-cost Bonnie SEC with Perona. That's fine. You probably don't want to run a Supernova engine, though, then, in your deck. And so now attaching 1 Dawn is going to be a 9,000 power swing, if my math is correct. I think at Carrot. So it does have a Trichelysium event. But I don't know if you have enough counter to be able to save Carrot on the Tashigi swing. Has 5 cards in hand right now. 2 Dawn attached to the Tashigi is going to be another 9,000 power swing. I don't think he's determined where he's swinging yet. This is a tough choice. Carrot, so valuable in this game. Ends up using the Dracule Mihawk event and a 2. Oh, I forgot about the Dracule Mihawk. The SEC Dracule Mihawk, if you do not know, on opponent's attack once per turn. If you discard a card from hand, you can give a character or leader plus 2,000 power for a battle. So using that in a 2K to get out of that swing. That's why these players are in the finals and I am not. Mihawk was insane in this tournament. 34% of the room, Ralph Terra, if you don't know, and also 16 of the top 32. Full 10 Dawn turn. Does have a Lawn Beppo that he could utilize himself, but not before the Carrot swing. The Carrot is going to be swinging at the Kid Killer and stun the Tashigi, kind of forcing him to use that Kid Killer effect to restand 1 Dawn, especially because the player on the left side does not have Coffin Boat on the field. Maybe he's just trying to get rid of these little searchers, but now swinging 9,000 power at lead. Lots of cards in hand for the player on the left side. 9,000 to an 8,000 power leader. Just a 2K gets out of that swing. Law and Beppo coming down onto the field. Oh, gotta determine the resting is going to rest and freeze the Law and Beppo on the left side, making the right side Dracule Mihawk, 8,000 power, now using leader effect on the Coffin Boat to restand 3 Dawn, is going to just end the turn and restand 1 more. Full 10 Dawn has another Law and Beppo that he can put down if he wants. So Law and Beppo would be able to freeze one of these bodies. You can choose to freeze the 9-cost Mihawk. Do you choose the 9-cost Mihawk or the Law and Beppo? Probably the Mihawk, right? Because the Mihawk will constantly freeze something, so you just prevent it from getting that rested effect. And so I was actually thinking about tapping the Law and Beppo for leader effect, but maybe goes with the Kid Killer instead. Ends up using Kid Killer, restanding 3 Dawn. And this is why Coffin Boat is so good in the deck, because it makes these leader effects so awkward when you don't have Law, or when you don't have Coffin Boat. Is going to swing 8,000 power at Carrot, does not opt to save it. I know we've had some young kids in these rounds. Like, even this player on the left side looks pretty young. I mean, I think he's out of high school, maybe. Yeah, we got young players playing in this. So attaching 2 Dawn, now swinging 10,000 power at lead. -1 from the Shanks. 2 Dawn is 10. Passing off the turn. Putting the player on the right side 2-2. Finding another Perona off the top of the deck. Does have a Law and Beppo of his own. So Shanks now going in. An 8,000 power swing to an 8,000 power leader. It's just a 1K to get out of this. Man, this is why the plus 1,000 actually matters a lot in the mirror match. Because that was just a 1K to get out of the Shanks swing. And now this 11,000 power swing from Law and Beppo is just a 4K counter event to get out of it, to go to 12. Law and Beppo coming in once again is going to freeze the Law and Beppo that is rested. Coffin Boat now restanding 3. Both players just sitting at 8,000 power leaders for this game. Is going to go ahead and use the I know you're strong, so I'll go all out for the very start event. So now not only one of the Law and Beppos is frozen, but also the 7-cost Shanks and 5-cost Tashigi, minimizing the amount of swings that the player on the left side is going to be able to provide in the next turn. Chat, who do we think is winning right now? Let me know. Player on the left or player on the right? We do have a Law and Beppo on the side of the left. We could go to 8,000 power once again. What would you play over, though? Would you play over Tashigi or Kid Killer? No, did not go for a leader swing. That's an interesting call out. Considering he matched the player on the left side in power, did not go for a swing with leader. Why would you not swing with leader? So starts out 11,000 power. At lead, ends up taking the life. 9-cost Mihawk, not going to have anything with counter on it. I know the left player can't die if you swing with leader, but like, you get a card out of hand, right? So is going to play over the Tashigi, not playing over the Kid Killer. Interesting. Stuns the Mihawk yet again. We have seen 5 Law and Beppos played this game. Using leader effect on the Kid Killer. He's got several events in hand. Do you go ahead and just swing 8 lead? This game is fascinating. I need like Ralph Terra or Noel to like watch this game and explain everything to me. Like the reasonings for everything. There's so much to like learn about this game. I feel like it's not going to convince me to play Dracule Mihawk, but I still find it fascinating. And so now he's thinking about leader and he passes off the turn too. Mirrors the player on the right side, not swinging with leader. Worrying about stuff like Paradise Waterfall, right? Would be able to restand the Dracule Mihawk SEC. Is going to go with Perona. To look at that top 5. What are you looking for on this Perona? Can't found Dead Man's Game. Is he going to go proactive with Dead Man's Game? There's 3 Dawn left open. So you will be able, through a Dead Man's Game, to still have one for a counter event. But he's going to play another Perona. What is he looking for? He found another Dead Man's Game. Is he going to double Dead Man's Game here? To rest all the Dawn? No way. No way. I mean, he's got 2 Lawn Beppos and a Shanks to swing with at lead. If he's got no Dawn left, he can't use the counter events. So he only has 1, 2, 3 1Ks in hand. The double Perona search for double Deadman's Game. You do have to remember, though, that Dracule Mihawk on the left side is an 8,000 power leader, but you could swing using 2 Deadman's Game and leader effect. You would be able to swing 9 with leader, 8 with Shanks, and 2 10s with Lawn Beppo. I don't know if those are the correct numbers, but those are the first numbers that I think of. But no, we're swinging at Kid Killer. Ends up using the Kid Killer effect to restand, and is just gonna Deadman's Game. 2 Dawn rested. 2 Dawn rested. Leader effect on the Coffin Bow will restand 3 Dawn. And he's going to go with these 3 swings that he has left. Lawn Beppo, 10,000 power swing, now at lead. You have to swing. Why would you? Hold on, chat. Explain to me why you would swing leader at Kid Killer first. Ends up taking the life. Putting another 1K in hand. Looks like player on the right side for the double Deadman's Game. Going to win this. The 10,000 power swing from Law and Beppo can only match it at this point, right? Oh, no. Had 3 1Ks, which puts him to 11. But the Shanks now on the swing, claiming the game because no Dawn left open. Oh, my goodness. What an insane game. No. Okay, I see it now, chat. I see it now. Okay. You swing at the Kid Killer first to force him to pop it to restand the Dawn, because if you don't do it then when you swing later, he'll use it then. Like, he can use it after the Deadman's Game. So you force him to use it right then and there. So then he does not have an opportunity to use it after the Deadman's Games. I see, chat. That was a really good play. And that's why you practice, chat. And that's why you grind games with your deck, so you know all the outs. That was a great play. That was a really cool play. I learned a lot in this game. Wow, what a final. Honestly, like, I'm not a huge fan of mirror matches most of the time in like card games, but that one was really cool. School day is fun. Yeah, that guy just had a regular day at school. Yeah, using leader effect on Kid Killer, like, I think pretty much just lost him the game. Well, I don't know. Wow, this kid is tall, by the way. I don't know if it like lost him the game, but it definitely punished him. Dang, look at those trophies, chat. Chat, claps in the chat for this person. Claps in the chat for this person for winning, for being excellent. Yeah, like, I mean, their brains are fried. I mean, you're asking that player to have double DMG, and he only had it because he searched Perona twice, and he found DMG both Peronas. That was crazy. Chad, keep in mind, not only did he have double DMG, but he had Perona searches to find the DMGs.